Greetings, seekers after enlightenment. Yes, it's the Irish fella. And I am back with another rant. This one is entitled Detachment. It is something subtle that happens to every man. You may not notice this at first, especially if you're deep in red pill rage. But a time will come when you see changes in your being. When one is free from the demands of women and have been deprogrammed from blue-pilled culture, there is a revelation within you. When one is not trapped in a treadmill of consumption, one realizes there's no need for much of the shopping that you've been doing. It is a sign of a growing, excuse me, and an inquiring mind to realize that conditions are different now. You may not have noticed this if you've just recently surpassed the rage. But now you have a greater level of mental clarity and focus. You are ready to take a first step into a new reality you create yourself. When you were in the Matrix, you were surrounded by stimulation. You were under constant programming to keep you trapped in a role as a blue-pilled machine part. I'm not ashamed to say I was such a man back in the day. I had the TV on all the time. But I did other things too. I was and still am a voracious reader. And I didn't realize it myself back then, that my relentless curiosity was what made me an outcast and an outsider. Of course, with red pill wisdom, now we know that the Matrix does fight anybody trying to escape. Now, I remember those times after my divorce. I was kind of distraught because I was forced to go without TV. So I had to deprogram myself. And for someone who grew up on TV well before the millennials did, and we sure as hell know how they turned out. But breaking any addiction takes time, persistence, and the intervention of the infinite. So, during all those years while I was drifting back and forth between spiritual and tradcon, I was looking for all sorts of alternative sources for learning. And I stumbled across a fantastic resource in the early 80s. A man named Richard Hittleman produced an outstanding video series on yoga, and he demonstrated in one episode several meditation techniques. One that is difficult to perform, but which brings great reward, is to make an effort to quiet your mind and have no active thoughts at all. In a still and quiet place, perform a relaxation exercise. Then, do your best not to have active thoughts. Now, random thoughts will come to you. Let that item pass through your mind, and do your best not to follow it with others. I actually had my ex-wife scream at me calling me a liar and saying that my developing talent was an impossible thing to do. Now, Richard Hittleman is beyond the veil now, but his entire video series is available through PBS. I highly recommend it. Now, in my dedications page to my first novel, I state that sometimes there's a story in your head that demands its freedom. It's the same way with you. Growing red pill wisdom is making changes to your mind. You are now exploring new subjects and discovering a growing capacity for rational analysis. It is necessary to clear your mind on occasion. In my early days of writing stories, I did everything in longhand. And I still write my scripts for these videos in longhand, or what some of you call cursive. Taking the time to write allows your thoughts to develop naturally. And I actually had a hard time making a transition from writing to using a typewriter when I decided I needed to speed up a little bit. So it is easy to get those random thoughts out of your head. Use the recording feature on your phone or laptop. Keep a notebook in your pocket. Save that precious data point, because your memory is not as good as you think it is. Who was I talking to again? Now, purging your mind of what may be random thought is a good thing to do. But it reminds me that I have to emphasize this. One of the things that brings on red pill rage is the new knowledge that you were manipulated. And for a while, this becomes a positive feedback loop that sends you out of control. You do learn and grow, and you do get past that rage and gain wisdom. It's necessary to do that with your past life. And it's something that all of us do. We all think about mistakes we made in the past. And I was mired in that self-destructive zone for far too long. It took red pill wisdom for me to develop a proper reaction. Remember what you are. You are Homo rationalis in form. And you are being tempered by an enlightened self-interest. Now you can dispassionately examine your past. Everyone makes mistakes. You look back on a task failure, of course there's a lack somewhere. Roughly, tools, parts, information. Regardless, you can extract those useful data points. So when you encounter a similar situation, you have a greater chance of success. The most important thing to do, just as you dispelled the rage, you have to eliminate self-generated guilt. You cannot change the past. A constant review of events you cannot alter does nothing but bring you pain. Except for analysis, I don't look back. There's no need to have your future held hostage by your past. Take a moment for yourself. Inhale while counting to 3. Hold for 3. Exhale for 3. Hold for 3. Repeat. Use your imagination and observe your breath. The very act of observation slows your breathing and calms your spirit. If you achieve and maintain your focus on what is positive, there is no room for negative thoughts to intrude and disrupt your serenity. Take 10 minutes at the start of your day to do this. You will see the benefits almost immediately. Believe me, the best thing that you can do to quiet your mind is to meditate. By diligent practice, you can achieve and maintain your detachment from chaos. You can be an island of calm in the center of a hurricane. Meditation changes the way your brain operates, and the benefits are backed by science. It lowers stress, reduces pain, increases your body awareness, enhances your focus and attention, and helps you handle, or in the Stoic sense, transcend emotion. With your red pill wisdom, you can see. In the blue pilled world, those lost souls have linked their ability to be happy to a desired outcome. Acquisition of material goods, political power, or ego gratification. And they end up in a cycle of despair and sometimes self-loathing when it doesn't happen. With your growing skill in detachment, you can remain objective. You can examine a position without succumbing to emotional appeals. Anxiety, fear, anger, jealousy, sadness, hopelessness, pride, vanity. All of these are feelings that will vanish as you follow simple steps. Observe your mind and know when you're vulnerable. Remove your ego from analysis. Embrace uncertainty. As I've said elsewhere, I am unstable because an organism in constant growth is unstable. Don't abuse yourself for falling into old habits. It takes time to recondition yourself and to reprogram your mind to do what you want instead of what they want. And remember that true happiness comes from within. Brothers, I'm not doing this to brag. I'm doing this to show and to share. I remind myself every day that when one teaches, two learn. And if I can make this kind of achievement, you can too. And I will be right there to applaud you for your success. So, I am going to get out of here and let you get on with your day. And I shall end with a quote. True detachment is not a separation from life, but the absolute freedom within your mind to explore living. Ron W. Rathburn. MGTOW for life, monk for life.